Starting a business as a student is tough, but imagine doing it in a place where you know absolutely no one, no network, no customers, just a dream and the determination to make it work. How do you turn that into a thriving brand with hundreds of loyal customers? Let's find out. Hi Zainab, it's good to have you on the podcast.
Hi.
If you could go back to when you started, what is one thing you would do differently?
You connect to people.
What advice do you have for student entrepreneurs?
Do what works for you and just start.
What strategies did you use to gain people's trust and grow your customer base?
My product spoke for me. My reputation precedes me.
Can you share some practical steps entrepreneurs in general can take if they want to start a business but don't have a strong support system?
Leveraging social media.
Campus Hustlers with Fatima Zakariyya. Starting a business as a student is tough, but imagine doing it in a place where you know absolutely no one, no network, no customers, just a dream and the determination to make it work. How do you turn that into a thriving brand with hundreds of loyal customers? Let's find out. Hi, welcome to yet another interesting episode of Campus Hustlers, the weekly dose of entrepreneurial spirit unfiltered. I'm your host, Fatima Zakariyya. I am an entrepreneur, a corporate event anchor, a voiceover talent, and of course, I am a podcaster. Joining me on today's episode of Campus Hustlers is Zainab Adebola Abdulrazaq, a 300 level economics student at Ahmadu Bello University in Zaria, and the visionary founder of Zeebakes, a thriving baking and pastry brand renowned for its irresistible three. Her journey into entrepreneurship began with a deep-seated passion for baking, which she honed through professional training, both online and on-site. What started as a simple love for creating delightful confections has blossomed into a successful business with over 300 satisfied customers indulging in her cakes, pastries, and natural drinks. Beyond crafting delicious treats, she empowers aspiring bakers by offering hands-on training, fostering a supportive learning community. Beyond Zeebakes, Zainab is deeply passionate about finance and investment. She is an active member of the Investment Society and the Islamic Economics Thought Association, IETA, balancing her academic pursuits with leadership roles, including serving as a class representative. She has completed multiple courses on investment and Islamic finance, earning certifications that align with her passion of building a future in the financial sector, with plans to venture into finance post-graduation while scaling her business. Zainab is a true embodiment of ambition and versatility. Hi Zainab, it's good to have you on the podcast.
Hi, good morning. How are you doing? Thank you. I'm so glad
fine.
to be here.
I'm glad you are. How are you today?
Alhamdulillah, I'm good.
You are full of energy. I hope you bring all those energy. You love to talk about business. I hope you are ready to talk about business today.
Of course, exactly.
Guys, she loves talking about business. That's what she enjoys doing the most. So please stay tuned. You are going to enjoy every bit of our conversation with Zainab. Alright, Zainab, let's start this way. Can you take us back to where your journey with baking started?
Okay, my journey with baking started as a passion that I actually never thought is going to take me here. Just something I love doing. I never thought I would make it into a proper business. The first cake I baked was me just going on YouTube, took a chocolate cake recipe, baked it, and it came out really nice. And my dad actually commented on it. That was actually my first motivation. I actually never said this to anyone before, but it was my first motivation to baking.
Shout out to Daddy. Shout out to Thank you so much, Dad.
Shout out to him.
Thank you so much, Dad.
And after a while, I took an on-site course here in Zaria with my boss, Details Bakehouse. Yeah, she stays in Zaria. So that was my first proper training. I spent a month, I got my certification, and that was how my journey to baking started.
Wow, interesting. I love that. So now tell us, what was the very first product you sold on that Zeebakes? Because I can see that you have drinks, you have a lot of things on that Zeebakes that are eatable. So what was the first product you sold on that Zeebakes?
The first product I sold on that Zeebakes was actually cookies. Okay. Even though I've actually sold a product before, but Zeebakes was not Zeebakes then.
Okay.
So it was just like exactly. So it was just like a random customer. Like I baked a cake, give it to my neighbor give it to a neighbor, and then she was like, "Oh, she's going to bake my birthday cake," and that was it. That was the first product I sold. But the one I sold under Zeebakes name was cookies.
Wow, beautiful. How was that experience like?
It was beautiful, being known as, oh, that's the cookie girl.
Yeah.
It was something I never planned. I just woke up one day. Like, I'm this kind of person that can just woke up and say, okay, I want to do this.
Yes. So, and it will happen.
It was a very beautiful experience for me. Even though at that time, I had no customers.
All right, so Zainab, what was the biggest challenge you faced when you started, and how did you overcome this challenge? Because I know that to start is the most difficult part of the whole journey.
Exactly.
What were the challenges you faced?
The biggest challenge I faced starting Zeebakes was having no customers, being new to a new environment.
Yeah.
I hail from Ibadan, Oyo State. I'm Yoruba by tribe.
Wow.
And coming here for the first time to Zaria with the motive of coming here to study and starting a business as an 100 level student.
Yes.
That was one of my biggest challenges. I had no customers. I had nobody that knows me that, okay, this girl is a baker and all of that. So that was my first challenge.
Okay. Is it that the cookies you sold there, you sold it in Ibadan?
No, that was the first.
Here in Zaria.
Yes.
All right, beautiful. I get that now. All right, now, so many students struggle with pricing their products. How did you figure out your pricing strategy when you started? Because, you want to sell. These people don't know me. So I have to make it as affordable as possible so they can buy things like that. Some people at the end of the day, they will not even have profit.
Exactly.
So how was it like, the pricing?
It was a big challenge for me because when I started selling those cookies, I didn't really have a pricing organized. I just said, okay, I'll pack this and I'll sell it for 100 naira.
Yeah.
And that's why I started. And along the line, okay, 200, and I was making my money, but I wasn't into pricing, costing, and all of that. But along the line, even though I was making my money, I was having returns. But then I felt like I'm this kind of person that I attend online classes a lot. And just one day I stumbled upon a pricing class and I attended. I was like, oh, I've been doing this thing wrongly. So that was just it. Like, I attend online classes a lot, attend classes, pay for access and all of that. That was just it.
Wow, beautiful. In whatever you do, it is good to be organized.
Exactly.
So you can even know, where is my money going?
Exactly.
Which one is the profit? Which one is the capital? Pricing is very, very important. I love that. Okay, so Zainab, you also teach baking and pastry making. What inspired you to start training others, and how was that experience?
What inspired me was I love talking about my business. Zeebakes is the absolute love of my life. I love talking about Zeebakes. I love seeing people that are interested in baking. I love seeing them, okay, I want to bake. Okay, I can actually teach you. My first student, I took her at no cost.
Wow.
Yes, with my recipes, my original recipes.
Wow.
And it was a very amazing experience for me, and that was when I had the motivation that, okay, I want to teach people how to bake.
Beautiful. Please, Zainab, I can say that personally, it's hard for me to wake up one day and I should pick my phone and I don't see Zeebakes posting her product. Like, I can say that you are consistent when it comes to posting your product. I receive your broadcast message saying, okay, this is available, this is available. So now, can you tell us, what role has social media played in growing Zeebakes? Any particular strategies that have worked for you?
For a brand that is new in Zaria, for a brand that knows nobody in Zaria, for a brand that nobody knows in Zaria, social media has played a very important role in advertising my business. My WhatsApp, my Instagram, and word of referrals, word of mouth. And aside from social media, the fact that my product actually speaks for me and all of that, like, you take my product, somebody else takes it, oh, this girl is actually good. Social media, like WhatsApp, referrals and all of that, my broadcast messages go far and wide, and that's just one thing. That's grown Zeebakes to the extent that I wasn't even expecting it.
Which of this platform would you say gives you the best result the most? Is it Instagram or WhatsApp?
WhatsApp.
Beautiful. Like, I just want you to say that, and I can tell that shows the importance of having people, not just contacts.
Exactly.
You understand? Having customers. We've seen instances where you see somebody with 300 contacts, but they are not their customers.
Exactly.
So I love the fact that you identify your customers and you keep selling to them every day.
Let me tell you, I have two different WhatsApp.
Okay.
I have my business WhatsApp and I have my normal WhatsApp. I can actually tell you, my business WhatsApp, I have customers, basically customers there. And my normal WhatsApp is just contacts, people that know me, like, you understand? So my business is always active, working for me, like, business.
Interesting. So if you are listening right now, I feel it's necessary for you to also divide your WhatsApp. You should have two WhatsApp, business and your personal WhatsApp. It's going to help you a whole lot. All right, so Zainab, if you could go back to when you started, what is one thing you would do differently if it is possible for you to go back?
Connect to people. Connection. They say your network is your net worth. If I can go back to 3 years ago when Zeebakes started, I would actually tell myself, connect to people, like different set of people.
Interesting. All right, so now every entrepreneur faces setbacks. Normal. Can you share a moment where things didn't go as planned, and how did you handle it?
That was 2023. That was when I was in 100 level.
Okay.
So I went back home, and there was this trade fair I was supposed to attend. I paid and all of that, and I took goods of over 100,000 naira. And when I got there, business was very slow. I didn't even think I sold anything of 10,000 naira.
Wow.
I literally brought everything home and have no customer to sell it to. And that was one of my major setbacks. But alhamdulillah, I was able to bounce back, because what I actually did with the remaining thing was share it to people, give people as tasting, share it with families and friends, and I lost a lot of money.
So sorry about
alhamdulillah.
that. Yes, Zeebakes is back on her feet. Normal, we can see that. I think I can relate to what you just said. A friend told me she also bakes as well. She was my first guest on Campus Hustlers, and she told me that she also attended a trade fair like that. What happened was that when she got to the trade fair, she realized that almost everybody sells cake.
Actually,
she was like, how do I do? And at the end of the day, she said she was not able to sell everything. But luckily for her, she's in hostel.
Oh, wow.
You understand? She's in hostel, so she was able to disbundle the cake, the shawarma, and everything, and she sold it in pieces. So that was what helped her. Had it maybe, let me say, if you were in Zaria when that happened, like you are around students, definitely you may not have reasonable profit, but then
at least
at least your capital is going to come back. Yes. All right. So Zainab, you're representing your class as a lady, and you also bake. You are consistent in your business, and I know that a whole lot of them, it is you that student will be calling, hello Z, is the class holding? And you have to read your book. You have to reach out to lecturers that are you coming to class. How do you do this? How do you balance academics with entrepreneurship and your role as the class representative?
I'll tell you for a fact, it's not easy. To be honest, it's not easy. It's very demanding. Aside from being a class rep, running a business, my own academics, I have several other extracurricular activities that I'm engaging. So it's not always easy. I always do TDBs, and that's how I catch up with my academics.
Wow, interesting. All right, so Zainab, any success stories so far?
Of course, a whole lot of success stories, and alhamdulillah, I'm grateful to Allah for growth. One of my success stories was, about the ABSRC trade fair, every second semester. So I've always wanted to attend as a vendor, and last year I was able to, even though I had my fears with my first trade fair and how everything ended up. So I had my fears, but I was able to attend, and I shared the story with my friend, Honey Drops. So we were able to attend, and alhamdulillah, it turned out so well. Like I sold more than 150 products of Zeebakes, yes, and gained new customers. And from that, I got my first new stand mixer. That was a very big success story for me, because honestly, I've always been wanting a stand mixer.
Your story is standing in one particular way. Zainab that has ever been to a trade fair without selling anything.
I like taking risk. That time it was a risk I actually took, and I was grateful I did. My friend was scared. I was scared. I was the one motivating her, but I was scared also. But then we did it, and then it was a success for both of us.
Yes, if it were to be another person, like you will feel like, I have done this thing before, it did not work.
But I can't
do it again.
Business is all about risk, but you just know the kind of risk you want to take.
Interesting. So, you have interest in finance and investment. Okay, where do you see yourself after graduation? Do you want to keep running your business, or you want to do a multitasker? You want to be everywhere?
I love to be everywhere. I see myself after graduation opening a Zeebakes brand, like a physical bakery for Zeebakes. And also, I'm interested in financial analysts. So I hope to be a financial analyst in the future, in the nearest future.
All in one. Baking, financial analyst. Interesting. Okay, so Zainab, now, what advice do you have for student entrepreneurs?
Do what works for you and just start. When I started Zeebakes in Zaria, I had no customers. I had nobody. And me just waking up one day, just went to the market, bought cookies ingredients, came back without having no customers to sell it to. And then I had no equipment, I had nothing at that moment, but then I just started.
I just have to start.
Exactly, I just started, and look where Zeebakes is today. Alhamdulillah. Do what works for you and just start. Don't wait until you have the whole baking equipment, until you have an oven. I started Zeebakes with just my stove and my pot, and that was it.
Wow, interesting.
And now I have oven, I have stand mixer, I have my hand mixer, I have a whole lot of equipment I use.
Wow, so interesting. So guys, do what works for you and just start. And you know what? The best time to start is now. Alright, so Zainab, before we dive into the second segment of the podcast, people have been listening to our conversation and they can't wait to connect with you. I know. So where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Zeebakes.
Okay.
That's ZE_Ebakes.
Okay.
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook at Zeebakes too, and WhatsApp too.
I will definitely drop those handles in the description box. All right, listeners, we're about to dive into the second segment of the podcast. Alright, so Zainab and I, we are going to be exploring the topic building a business from scratch in an unfamiliar environment. Building a business is one thing, but building it in a place where you have no connections, no support system, and no idea where to start, that's a whole different challenge. In this segment, we are going to explore how you can turn strangers into customers and an unfamiliar environment into a thriving marketplace. Alright, Zainab, moving to Zaria as a newcomer. Yes, newcomer. How did you first introduce Zeebakes to people who didn't know you?
With my first product under Zeebakes being cookies. So after I made my cookies, I sat down and basically I had no customers, just my roommate. So, and it's not possible for my roommate to be just my only customer.
Yes, it is not.
And then I don't know, my friend came in that day, I was like, you made cookies? I said yes. Why are you selling to? And that was how it actually clicked. I have no customers to sell cookies to. So why have I just sat down and you spent my whole day on making cookies? So that was how I carried my cookies on my head, not literally on my head, but then I carried my cookies and went from room to room. And that was how I got to be known as the cookie girl. Zeebakes was not a very popular.
Yes. They don't know you as Zeebakes, just the cookie girl.
Exactly. So that was how people got to know me, and word of mouth, oh, she's good, you can try it out and all of that. So that was how people got to know me.
Interesting. Okay, so Zainab, now tell us, we want to learn from you as somebody who has been there before. So tell us, what strategies did you use to gain people's trust and grow your customer base? Because I know trust is important.
Very important.
Because if I'm buying something that I have to eat, that means I'm trusting with my life.
Of course.
You understand what I mean?
I understand
how
totally.
did you do that? Yes, what strategies?
Okay, so basically my product spoke for me. My reputation precedes me, and people that know me, that know Zeebakes, you know, I was staying in the hostel, and you're actually free to come to my room and come and collect your product and all of that, and you see the environment, and then of course you definitely trust someone that this is where this person works and this is where she stays. Even if she runs my money or something happens, I can actually come to her room and say, okay,
and clean room for
exactly.
Yes.
So that was basically it. People would always recommend Zeebakes. If you tasted Zeebakes product before, you would always recommend me. That's just one thing.
Interesting. I love that. Thank you. And she's telling you the truth. If you've tasted Zeebakes before, you will recommend her. You just can't. You just can't do without recommending her. Okay, so now networking is important for any business. That was your first challenge that you faced. How did you go about building relationships that helped Zeebakes grow?
I'm actually not the kind of person that is actually very good with people. I'm actually not like an extroverted person. I'm an introvert. But I think Zeebakes brought me out kind of.
Yes,
because
I was about to say that you are not an introvert.
Zeebakes brought me out kind of because I need to interact with people, like tell them, this is what I do and all of that. And I think my first step was joining an extracurricular activity. When I was in 100 level, I was business school's MCM member, and I served as a PRO, and I was supposed to organize our sisters circle events. And just like a few minutes to the start of the program, told me, you'll be anchoring this program. Like, what? Because I had no experience in connecting with people, anchoring programs, and that was actually my first motivation. And I actually did that, and it was perfect. People actually commented okay, it was good and all of that. And I feel like, okay, from there, I started knowing how to connect with people, talk to people, meet people, and okay, this is what I do. I sell these, I'm into these, and all of that. And that was it.
Wow. And that brought us back to what you said. You said just start.
Exactly.
That day you spoke to people and look at where you are today. Interesting. I love that. Okay, so now Zainab, can you share some practical steps entrepreneurs in general can take if they want to start a business but don't have a strong support system?
Leveraging social media and joining student group. ABU has a whole lot of market groups, like ABU Market this thing,
yes,
verified community group.
different hostel
besties and all of that. You have a whole lot of market groups. You can join those market groups. People sell a whole lot on the group. And free samples, discounts. That's actually one way to grow business, like practical way to grow a business. Offer free samples to people. Up till today, Zeebakes still offer free samples.
It's interesting. Okay, so Zainab, and while I was reading your bio, you mentioned that you have rivers of supporters. Allah has blessed you with over 300 customers. How did you attract these people, and what role have they played in your success?
To be honest, Zeebakes is not Zeebakes without my rivers of supporters. And that's just one thing. My sister, my elder sister, she's one of the biggest supporters of Zeebakes.
Shout out to her.
Shout out to her. A very big shout out to her. She has motivated me up to this moment and is still motivating me. She has just been there. Yeah. And my brother too is an ABA student too. He's also a big supporter of Zeebakes. He has always been there. I can actually call my brother at 10 p.m. Please, I have a delivery to make to so place. And he's going to be there.
Wow.
Like you can imagine, my friends, they've been there like all through. Anytime I have like big orders, supporting, helping, and all of that. And my entire community of Zeebakes, referrals, word of mouth. Okay, she does this. Even if you've not bought something from me before, you've been seeing my consistency. You see what I post, you see what I make, and then you actually be like, oh, patronize this girl. She's actually very good. And that's just one thing. My customers are actually one of my rivers of supporters. They've been there.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay, so Zainab, if someone moves to a new environment today and wants to start a business, now you've been there. So can you tell us what are the key things they should focus on as newcomers?
Be consistent. Okay, for example, when I started making the cookies, I ensure to have cookies available in my room every single day. Because you just see somebody working and be like, oh, I want to buy cookies. And it's just like, I don't have. The second day, I don't have. They'll be like, no, are you actually sure you're into this business?
Yes.
So consistency is actually matters a whole lot when you
always be available.
Exactly. And people actually wonder, you are a student and you are this consistent. Well, I have customers to like attract and all of that, and I have people to satisfy. So consistency, leverage social media, branding, and all of that works.
So important.
So important.
Okay, so then they're looking at how far you've come. Alhamdulillah. What advice would you give to your past self when you were just starting out in Zaria?
Advice I would give out to my past self, honestly, is still connect with people. Because I've seen what connection with people, I've seen what it does to me, I've seen what it does to Zeebakes. Like try and get access to some people, like to some spaces and all of that. I remember when there was an orientation I attended in my 100 level, and then we had one speaker. He said something that I've actually been holding on up to today. He was like, before you graduate from ABU, know at least 100 people. Of course, not like you just know them, know their name, know their surname, where they came from, their background, what brought them to ABU, the course they are studying. Like, know them, because eventually you realize your network is your network. And that's just one thing.
I can remember somebody told me that people are your greatest asset. Yes. All right. So Zainab, it has been an interesting moment with you. We've had interesting conversations. Thank you so much for coming on my podcast. But before you go, I have this one question for you. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So Zainab, if you could collaborate with any baker, who would it be and why? Like anybody in your niche.
Here in Zaria?
No. Even if the person is in America.
Zara Donuts. Yes, definitely.
Where is she? Who is she?
Zara Donuts she's in Kano.
Okay.
Yeah, she's based in Kano. She has a bakery. I've taken several of her courses.
Wow.
Yeah, paid courses.
Wow.
I took one recently in I think January, December. Basically all our courses packed in one bundle. I think that was around 50,000 naira.
Wow.
I look up to her so much. She's a very valuable asset to Zeebakes.
Is it that she does just donuts?
Not donuts. She makes cakes, pies,
yes, like just the brand
cakes and pastries. Yes. And she's so good. She's very good. Some of our recipes I use, the reviews are always mind-blowing.
Wow.
She's so good.
Wow.
To be honest. And I look up to her.
Wow. Okay, Zara Donut. Thank you. Okay, Zara Donut, in case you are listening right now, Zainab would love to collaborate with you one day if you give her the chance. There is something I learned from you, and I feel like if I don't tell you, I won't forgive myself for the end of this session, and that is you invest in yourself.
Definitely.
And self-investment is very, very important.
Very, very important.
And I love the fact that that you understand that this is so important. I love the fact that you keep learning. Yes, the reviews are coming, the positive reviews keep coming, but you did not say, I have gotten to where I want to be. No,
you need to build on yourself.
Yes, Zainab did not say that, guys. Zainab just continue exploring courses, learning every day. She did not say that, I have customers already, they're giving me positive reviews. No, she did not say that. She kept on investing in herself, paying for courses, and I love that about you. And if I don't tell you, I won't forgive myself.
So one thing I would actually say to people is learn to pay for access. It's actually really important. Learn to pay for access and not just anything, just pay for access. So when I told someone that I wanted to buy Zaria donuts, this last one that I bought, the 50k one, I wanted to buy recipes. She was like, but you're already good in what you do. Like, it's not just being good in what I do, it's just me building on what I do, not just I want to stay and I'm just staying here and just stagnant. No, I want to advance. I want to build on myself. I want to build Zeebakes.
Very, very important.
Which is important. Just learn to pay for access, like attend classes, courses. There are numerous free courses that you can actually attend.
And you know what is interesting? You know one thing, I'm so sure that even the Zara bakes you're talking about, she's also investing.
Of course.
She's also paying for access.
Of course.
She's paying for courses just to upgrade.
Definitely.
And like this thing is, I see it as a cycle. Okay, you paid for access and you gain access to some recipes, and somebody too is going to come and pay you to teach them. So this is how this thing works. Okay, if I pay you to teach me, definitely I learn from you. Me too, I am going to ask somebody to pay me, and it's going like that. So you just have to invest in yourself, guys. All right, so like I said, Zainab, it has been an amazing time. Thank you so much for coming on my podcast. I enjoy every bit of our conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, you're welcome. All right, hustlers, that's all we have for you today. I hope this episode ignites your entrepreneurial fire. I hope you've learned a whole lot from Zainab. You should understand that there is no free thing. Yes, there are free courses, but try as much as possible to also explore paid courses, because it's not everything that they will teach you in free courses. And just start, and the best time to start is now. All right, rate and review this podcast using the hashtag Campus Hustlers on all social media platforms. If you're yet to subscribe, hit the subscribe button now. Until next week, stay hungry, stay focused, and keep hustling. Bye-bye. Campus Hustlers with Fatima Zakariyya.